y'all, welcome back to Krista's Kitchen. So tonight we're going to be making our every plate meal with the Linguine Carbonara. Now carbonara is very easy to make as it is, but we're going to give the every plate version a try. It says we'll need 5 minutes prep time and 30 minutes to prepare the whole meal. I've already gotten all of our stuff laid out, and I'm going to walk you through each step so we can really see, does it really take that long? I don't think it'll take that long as far as the cooking process goes, except for the bacon and the pasta will need the time to heat up. So the first thing you want to do is always read your recipe first. That way you have a generalized idea of what you need to do and the kind of steps, and you'll be able to follow the recipe smoother and it'll be a lot less frustrating. As you can tell, we're also doing this in a camper. So if you have a small area, we're going to see just how easy it is to do this, or how difficult, depending on what it may be. But we're trying to cook smaller, and keep in mind that you'll have less room for big pots and pans and dishes and all these different things. It's also summertime, so I don't want to heat up the whole camper with what I'm cooking. So I'm going to utilize, we have a convection microwave, I'm going to utilize this for my cooking part as far as the oven part would go. Now that may not always be the case, but for today I am. So the first thing we're going to do is get it preheating. We're going to go to 425 and let that get going. The next thing I want to do is get my water boiling, because that will take the most time after that. And then we'll come and zoom in a little bit right here so we can prep the rest. So I just have some water. Oh, one thing, if you are in a camper, remember to always remove your glass. I had a friend that did not realize that she had to remove that. She thought it was like a solid top, and she shattered the whole thing. So we're going to do our pot light. Now always salt your pasta water. Now I know that looks like a lot of salt. We're not going to have all that going into our body, but you need your pasta to be seasoned, or your pasta water to be seasoned, so that your pasta doesn't taste very clean. You don't have to have the lid on it, but I'm doing that to get it out of my way. Next step is on our little sheet pan. We're going to go ahead and lay out our bacon. And y'all, I'm telling y'all, this really seems like it's going to be a quick and easy meal. There's really nothing to it. And you could even, if you wanted to skip the whole having to really cook much of anything, buy pre-cooked bacon, and that way you only have to like nuke it in the microwave for just a little bit. And just make sure it's something that you can get that crunch out of, because you want to be able to crumble the bacon and really get that texture change. Now most of these pieces of bacon look fairly good. Some really, well, that one I thought was 2 slices, it seems to be one. Some fattier pieces, but depending on how they cook up, we may toss those anyway. Okay, y'all, I just zoomed y'all in a little bit, but we have our bacon down here. Our other piece of foil that we have right here is actually for our garlic. So if y'all remember from, or if y'all watched the video from earlier, I said that half of this garlic was not going to be usable, and this is why. Like, if you can see, it's already past its prime. So we won't be using that. This recipe calls for 4 cloves of garlic. Just because I know our flavor preference, and I have extra garlic if I end up needing it for other recipes, I'm going to add 6 cloves instead of 4. I know that our flavor preference, we love garlic, and when I say we, me and my kids by definition have to eat it, and they seem to also. And plus, look, I'm cutting off some of these pieces, so that's already just a half piece. Now with garlic, I like to cut that little end piece off and peel what I can, but if you can't peel that off very easily, or you don't want that garlic smell on your fingers, I'm just going to push that into my sink so I don't have all this flying around. But if you don't want that smell on there, or if you're having a hard time, just take it and pound the back of your knife, and it will not only smash your garlic for you, but it will also help you peel it. It releases those oils and stuff that are in it, so that it makes it so much easier to peel without having to have a fancy garlic peel or any of that. So Oh, like I was saying, for the 2-person, this calls for 3 cloves of garlic. And I have about 3 in there. I'm going to toss 1 more. And if you think about it, I started with 6 cloves. That pack definitely was not at its prime. And then this one, we're going to go ahead and peel it, but it says reserve it to chop and use towards the end. So, we make our little bouquet and just put a little dash of olive oil in the bottom of it. This is going to help it roast with the bacon while you're doing all that. So that part is all ready. Next, we're going to chop up. And when I say chop, I usually just do some small little slices. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're not trying to get onto the Food Network next Chef Star or whatever. But just some smaller pieces. My children do find raw garlic kind of spicy for their palate. We're going to cook this for just about a minute whenever it all gets going though. So it should cut some of that pungency down. But love the flavor of garlic. And if you want to skip this all together, you have some minced garlic in your fridge, just use that. As far as the roasting part, you won't get the full flavor of the roasted garlic, but it will still be worth it. Let's see, and the next step. So really, we're done for right now. We have to wait until our pasta water is boiling to add our pasta, and our bacon is cooked to get anything done, which is why it's so important to get your bacon, your oven preheated, and your pasta water boiling. But I'm going to clean up just a little bit and wait for everything to get ready, and I'll bring y'all back once we're to that next step. Alright y'all, so our pasta water is boiling. What we're going to do is we're going to toss in our linguine. We didn't quite have a chance to clean up much of anything, but we want to get these steps going, as they do take just a little bit of time on their own. Alright, now as soon as our oven is preheated, our bacon will go in. It says we cook our bacon for 15 to 20 minutes. So I'll probably check it about 10 minutes in and see if it could use flipping, or if it's fine to just keep going as it is. We'll see y'all back pretty shortly. Okay y'all, so our pasta's all ready. I'm going to reserve just a little bit of this water. It's okay if some of the noodles get in there, but we're going to drain our pasta. We want to keep some of the liquid so that, and you don't have to use a coffee mug, you can just save it, but I'm going to pour the rest of this out whenever I'm draining. Alright, I'm just putting our pasta in a colander. Those last little pieces, we're going to use the same pot to heat up our peas and cook our garlic. So we need how much butter? 2 tablespoons of butter. And y'all, I don't measure much of anything. But 2 tablespoons. Going to toss in our garlic and just cook it till it's fragrant. So it says about 30 minutes. I'm going to go about a minute. If y'all heard that crack, there went my egg that I've had sitting at room temperature. So we're going to grab another one. Things happen, you just adjust. I don't want it completely cold, so I am going to set it kind of over to the stove so that it can warm up just a little bit. A room temperature egg is just so much better whenever you're trying to cook with it than a cold egg. So we're going to let that cook for just a minute. I'm going to clean up this egg mess and we'll be back. I am going to switch it to low though. So we're going to toss in our peas. We're also going to pour back in our pasta water and add a little bit of salt and pepper. Now, for me, carbonara should have a kind of peppery bite. So y'all see I added a little bit more pepper than you might choose. That's okay. Just gonna pour the whole cup in. Just do what you like. But I think it should have that peppery bite. Alright. Time to add in our cream cheese. And y'all see why I said the carbonara is very, very simple. It's kind of just getting your ingredients, like your pasta and your bacon cooked, and then everything kind of comes together. Parmesan cheese is going in. And we're going to check on our bacon because I do want that roasted garlic to be going in about right now also. So let's see. So our roasted garlic can come off the pan, but our bacon needs to stay for just a minute or so longer. It's still got about 4 minutes on its timer. Let's see how our our garlic is. Beautiful. So I'm just going to take my tongs and smash it just a little bit. That one could have gone for a little bit longer. So if you want to slice your garlic, that might help cook it a little bit faster as well. Get this creamed all around. Now I know tongs are not the ideal thing for this, but I'm trying to show you how mess less dishes or in a small kitchen, however you want to approach this. And you can do this with a full gourmet decked out kitchen if you like. If your kitchen is just for show and you're trying to teach yourself how to cook and this is your beginning stages, go for it. Like, there's no harm in that. We got a little noodle in there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and bring our pasta back and toss this in. At this point, you would want to add your bacon back, but ours isn't quite ready yet, and that's okay. But get this tossed all in our sauce, and you'll notice I turned it down to low also. But we just want our pasta really coated in that sauce. This is also when, if you needed more of that liquid, you would use your reserved pasta water again, just to thin it out. Now I'm going to turn the heat off and move this over just a little bit because I want to add in, and this is an optional step. You don't have to add an egg yolk. Alright. So just my little egg yolk going here. I'm going to break it. This just gives a creamier taste to it. And just the heat of the pasta will cook the egg enough, but still give you the creaminess that you're looking for from having that yolk in there. So don't worry about you're going to get a raw egg. Just make sure it's really mixed around. What's left of your water is also going to help with that egg, just to thin it out just a little bit. So let's go ahead and stop this and pull out our bacon. Nice and pretty. So most of our bacon is going to be too hot to handle. I'm just going to scoot it back out of the grease. You see that one still isn't cooked quite to my liking. I like a very crunchy bacon. So these pieces up here are the thinner pieces are going to work better for what I need. That thicker piece, although it's nice to have those big thick pieces, they're not really going to work for what I need. I'm just pulling them into here so I can cool them off for just a second and let those drippings kind of mix with the pasta. I'll leave that one up there. One of the kids will use it. Now, for your grease, please do not pour this. Don't pour this down your drain. It will clog up your drains. I know some people say, "Oh, I'll just run hot water through it." That doesn't really work well. Just leave it cool on this, and you can fold the whole thing up and throw it away. Or if you're from the South, you probably have a little mason jar where you're collecting your bacon grease anyway, and you thought what I just said was a sin. That's okay, but just don't pour it down the drain. It's still a little hot to run with. Alright, and let it sit for a few more minutes. We're going to come back and crumble it up. But we have beat our 30-minute mark. We still have about 6 minutes left. And lunch is, or dinner is all ready. So we're going to crumble this up. I'll put it on a bowl and we'll do a taste test together in just a few minutes. So we're going to taste test and see how it is. It looks very yummy. It kind of burned my fingertips trying to mess with the bacon again a little too soon. So the crunch of the bacon definitely helps with the texture change. It's nice and creamy and delicious, simple. I think it could still use a little bit more pepper. I tend to like pepper, that's okay. They actually chose a pretty good quality bacon too. It's not that weird off flavor. They chose a really good bacon. I was looking to see if it said like what brand. It doesn't. But maybe that's something to keep in mind too. If you're making something this simple and doesn't need a lot of ingredients, choose good quality ingredients like the Philadelphia cream cheese, the good quality bacon. Because those will make a difference. I'm not so sure if you can make some homemade pasta, go for it. This would be the dish to do it because I think you will enjoy that even more. But our goal here is really to get simplicity, and this is it. It's yummy. So we're going to sit down and eat it, and I'll let you know what the other two think of it. One thing I did want to point out also is with every plate, their pasta dishes definitely are enough. I'm taking this pasta dish that's meant for 2, and I guarantee you it will feed me and my 2 small children. So if there's just 2 of y'all or 1 and 2 little ones, I think even the 2-person or 2 portion size will work for y'all. But we're going to sit down and eat, and we'll let y'all know what we think of it overall. But I like it. I think they're going to like it. Eleanor always loves pasta. So it's a win for us. But we'll see y'all next time whenever we try another meal. Bye.